If you're like me and you struggle with self-doubt, then you should definitely watch this video, because I don't just unpack how I deal with self-doubt, but really how you could deal with it for yourself. Welcome to Take a Pause with me, Varun Duggi. This is a episode where I wanted to share my own battle, or rather my own relationship with self-doubt, and how I've tried to overcome it throughout my life and still am, and to give you some key insights that might help you in your own life. So before we get into it, I want you to smash that bell icon and hit subscribe. Get straight into the episode. It's an innate human trait for all of us to continue to doubt everything that we know, that we do, that we might want to do. And in many ways, that doubt drives us away from all the things that we might actually want to do. So, how do you combat this? How do you work with your own sense of self-doubt, and how do you work ahead from there? I've struggled with self-doubt for a large part of my life. For the longest time, I would fail at one thing once, then I would run away from it, right? You get on stage and you freeze, like I did when I was in, I think, second standard or third standard. And you run off crying and you don't get back on stage for 10 years. You go for a presentation and you know it's terrible. You just run away from doing presentations again in your life. And so many other things like that, right? From relationships to, I can't think of any single aspect of my life where self-doubt has told me, you know what, just run away from this. Just accept it that you can't do this. And I accepted it for the longest time. In many ways, I found a few ways to help me not fully eradicate it from my life. I don't think we can ever let go of self-doubt in our lives, but I think there is a way for all of us to move ahead in our lives by learning how to deal with it whenever it overtakes us. One of the first things that I learned was that, how people tell you to start with the toughest thing you have to do and then move towards things that are easy for you. That's actually where self-doubt starts, because you're starting with something that is out of your comfort zone. You're starting with something that innately you're not that good at. So when you fail at that, you never try it again. And in many ways, don't even do the thing which is easy for you to do. Like, take, for example, presentations, right? A lot of us are in college and at work. We all want to go out there and give good presentations, but I've been terrible at presentations for a large part of my life because I somehow can't stick to what's on the slides. I always like to chat with people, say things to kind of understand what they like and don't like. But sticking to the actual data, being structured, has never been something which I've actually been good at. So I would always try to work with, I need to structure this right as my first priority. It should always go wrong. Till one day, I flipped that around. And I said, what I'm really good at is to figure out who the people in the room are, what they like to talk about. Almost warm them up for the presentation. And so I started to do one thing. I would spend the first 5-10 minutes, even just before the presentation starts, just talking to the people in the room. Not talking about the weather, just talking about something that would make them relate to me, make them smile a few times, make them find a connection between something they like and you like, something they've experienced and you've experienced. So by the time I actually got to the presentation, they were already in a good vibe with me. I was more confident. They were more open to listening to me. And so even though I wasn't as structured in the presentation itself, it somehow went better. And that taught me a fundamental fact. Whenever we are in doubt, we should start the thing that we love, the thing that we're good at. Because when you start from a point of strength, you will automatically drive confidence within yourself. You will automatically start from a stronger point and not from a weak point for yourself. And the more you do that, what you will also realize is the second effect of this. The second effect of this is that the more you make, or rather, the more you start with your strongest point, you actually add more strengths to yourself. Slowly, my presentations, for instance, because that's what we spoke about as an example, became a lot more structured in the way my conversations were structured. So, how I would talk, the slide would just complement that. You could be someone who wants to be a creator and say, oh my God, I can't talk on camera straight. Maybe just talk away from the camera. Start off with that. Maybe what you can say is that maybe your strength is writing something and you could just literally sit down, write it down and record it or just type it as a caption. Start from your strongest point and then build on top of that. Because the more you build on top of your strengths, the more effective you become, the more confident you become. And in many ways, you feel better inside. It is innately something that is human, that the more you go deeper into something you love, something you enjoy, it's almost like going down that rabbit hole of, I like learning about cinema. Let me dig a little deeper into it. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'll dig deeper into how it was made, what are the behind the scenes, and suddenly I'll find different facts and different figures, and from there it might lead you to something else altogether. So always make yourself move ahead with curiosity rather than, oh my God, this has to be something which I'm doing with utter confidence. When you're curious about things, you ask questions, you're okay to fail, you're okay for your doubt to be shown because you literally are asking questions. So the more curious I got about things, the deeper I got into my knowledge base. The deeper I got into my knowledge base, the more confident I was. And the more confident I was, the less doubt I had in myself. What do I want you guys to take away from this? I want you guys to turn around and say, if there is something you're curious about, you don't have to be passionate about it. You don't have to have deep love for it. If you're curious about something, if your natural skill set is to talk about something or do something a certain way, start with that. Let that lead you to build strengths in things that aren't your strongest parts. Because over time, when you start with that seed of your own strength, your own passion, your own curiosity, the more it will spread. And over time, the things you're good at, things you don't have doubt on yourself for, will expand and you'll feel a lot better. Try it out. It's really helped me in recent times. I just came off like a full bout of self-doubt, literally like yesterday. I sat down, I'm like, why am I feeling self-doubt about this one thing which I'm planning to do? And I realized that I was directly jumping into something that I didn't know enough about. So I said, how can I connect that to something which is my strength or something which I know about? And then came the answer. The answer just showed itself to me. And I woke up in the morning with clarity, with less doubt. And I thought the best thing to do was to share this insight that I've learned with all of you so you can use it in your own lives. If this is giving you any form of value, make sure you hit subscribe, smash that bell icon. I'll catch you guys in another episode.